Hi submarine friends. Well, I managed to do what I wanted to do today. It started out rough because I made a part 3 times before I got it right. But anyways, and that has to do with all this. But anyways, rudder is on. Look how smooth that is. And it turns 32 degrees. That's the max you should have apparently. So, and I can change that if I really had to. It would just mean notching this because this slot here is what determines the travel. So this part is in, so the rods connect to the end of this pitman arm that goes up to the hull penetrator. So it'll just be 2 stainless steel rods or 2 stainless steel cables. I haven't decided. But by having it come out on both sides, the load is always a pulling load instead of a pushing load. If you tried to have a pushing load and you used a rod, that rod would probably buckle because it's so long, depending on how much load is on this rudder. So I decided to just make it so it's always pulling. So that's all done. I reinforced the hydraulic motor mount today, so that's all done. So now I have to go into the ballast tank tomorrow, and I have to put the air lines on, which in this case are hydraulic lines. I use those for air lines, and run those to the hull. Everything inside the hull is done. I just have to connect to it. So that's pretty easy. And then I have to install the cooling radiator, which is a hydraulic cooler, which is basically just a manifold pipe, and then cross pipes, and it's all welded together. It's from the mower that I took my diesel engine from. So it's very heavy duty, it'll work just fine. And there's no hoses, it's just, I'm welding fittings onto the fittings that are bolted to the cooler, and then it's just plumbing parts with unions and just plumb it right in. So once I get that done, then I can put the belly pan back on, and then I think I can paint it. I would probably have to do some work to the sub here and there and then just touch up paint any grinding, but I think it's time for some paint. So I have to do a little work on this with some fiberglass. Same with the conning tower. Again, I screwed up and I had to cut it and re-weld it. So now I have to do a little body work on that. That's actually my original profession, is auto body and paint. So that's all pretty easy for me. So fix up that sail and sand her down and give her a paint job. I'm not going to get too fancy with epoxy paints and stuff. I'm just going to paint it with rust paint, and once the thing is all working perfectly and I'm happy with it and I don't want to change anything, then we can sandblast it and put epoxy paint on it. I just hate spending a bunch of money on expensive paint and then making big changes. And because this has the potential for changes, let's just keep it simple and save some money. Besides, I can use it, if I use it this summer, I can use it with that rust paint and then deal with epoxy paint next summer or next spring. It will all evolve. I don't stress over stuff like that. And my philosophy is only worry about what you got to do the next day or two, then you don't get overwhelmed. So that's it. I'm happy I did what I wanted to today, and I have a plan for tomorrow. Ciao.